Hi, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. It's good morning from me. It's a great morning. Clouds seem to have disappeared, and although we had a lot of rain in the night, actually looks like we may dry out today, which is great news. So we have a visitor today who's coming from the Netherlands, and we're going to have lunch in Taliban if he can make it on the bus. He's coming from another part of the island. Now, one thing that I've noticed since we started our channel, we've been going for about 3 months and enjoyed a degree of success. It's brought us into a different area that we hadn't expected, and because of the help of subscribers, we've been able to help quite a few people. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that there are a lot of people that love you, and I think that this is not just talking about someone who has a channel. It's talking about everyday life. There are a lot of people that will really love you and will love everything that you do, whether it's good or bad. And the other side of that coin is that there'll be a lot of people who don't love you. Let's avoid that terrible word. There are a lot of people that won't love you. Here's another thing that also comes into play that I found. To the degree that you start to enjoy some success, you will get, in almost direct proportion, opposition to your success. There will be people who knock you, and there will be people who praise you. Now, what's the secret of being successfully happy? I think it is in maintaining a balance in your head. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I think that everything starts there. It all starts in thought, how you think about things. So, how will you judge the people that praise anything that you do? Well, if you have someone who praises anything that you do, the likelihood is that you will love them, yes, and you will enjoy having them in your life, but you won't depend too much on whether they say something that you do is great. Because if they love everything that you do, then they're loving you and not just what you do. Now, if you then look on the other side of that coin and see the people that just seem to hate you, well, not everything that they are saying is untrue. Some element of what they say will be true. Now, I remember a friend of mine in the UK who used to read a book by a man called Carlos Castaneda. And Carlos Castaneda studied with an Indian Mexican guru in somewhere in South America. And this guru used to take him through various lessons, but one of the lessons that he took him through was what he called the role of petty tyrants in your life. Now, a petty tyrant, everybody knows what a tyrant is, someone who is in charge and makes your life very difficult in this case. And if they're petty, then they're saying something which may well be true, but they're launching it on an arrow or a bullet. Okay, so the criticism, though it may be true, may be designed to hurt you, or not. Now, when we do a job, we all have petty tyrants in our life. These are the people that are absolutely nitpickers. They'll absolutely put down everything that you say. No, that's no good. You're doing this wrong, doing that wrong. You're anything but what you want to be. Now, what do you do with a petty tyrant? Well, let me give you an example. When I was in California, I got the chance to make a console for a company that rents movie props and they'd had somebody draw up a conceptual design of a console, and I built that. I engineered it in my workshop studio. I engineered it, showed how it could be built, did changes that needed to be changed in order to produce something that was workable, and then I took the prototype to the company and they came out and looked at it. Now, the way that I had been told about movie props is that it was the main hit on the eye that mattered in the first instant, because sometimes a movie prop would be made incredibly expensive, very, very detailed, and it would only be seen for about 10 seconds in a movie, and it would never be seen close up. So the guys that I knew in the company that I'd been working with, who made movie prop replicas, but I'd worked extensively in the movie industry, were telling me of their experiences, how when a piece of equipment was rolling down the ramp ready to be seen on film, they were actually sticking it together with super glue and duct tape. So I approached the console that I was making with that, and I soon found out that that didn't always work, because when the boss of this company came out, he looked at it, and what I learned in that moment was that this is a man that had a very, very high standard of detail. He was used to going to Italy and buying Italian designed and built furniture that was just perfect. And he looked at my console, and he really liked the console, but he noticed something that I had not been aware of, and that was that the two square apertures which were in the console, which were going to take, this is the frame that was going to take video screens. It was a console where the person sat at the computer, and in front of him, set into the console, was a TV monitor. And he looked at it and he said, "This is no good, it's not square." Now, the people that were with him, his right-hand men, said, "This is a great piece, you know, it will be great." He said, "It's not square." And he said that the square window was not square. And he called for a square. And he got the metal square and he put it, and guess what? It wasn't square. Now we're only talking about 1/8 of an inch, but it was 1/8 of an inch out. Now the console itself, though I say it myself, was beautiful. It was a great design. I'd engineered it well, and I built it with a great deal of care. But that small detail, that small attention to detail, I hadn't done. And well, at first, my reaction was, "You don't like it? After all my work? I know where you can stick it, and I'll help you to put it there." And then I stopped myself at the last minute, and I remembered my friend who always talked about petty tyrants, and I thought, this man is my petty tyrant. And I looked at my work, and I saw that what he was saying was true, that I'd done something and it wasn't up to standard. And then I made up my mind right in an instant of a second, if I can please this man, my work will be so much better. And even though my ego is more than a little bruised, I will have gained. And I didn't say anything about where he could relocate this console. And the two men that were with him said, "He'll get it right, John, he'll get this right. This will be a great piece. It's a great piece. This is a prototype. He'll get it right." So he very reluctantly, with little grace and even less charm, said, "Okay, well, let's see what he can do." And I took the prototype away, and then I made 10 more of that. And I made sure that every single one of those was perfect. I went over and over to make sure that everything was perfectly square, that every joint was absolutely right. My work increased in its standard. I did a much. Actually, I was proud of what I'd done when it was finished. And then I went back, and at the end of the job, he came out to see me and he said, "I have to tell you, I didn't think you could do it, but I couldn't be more pleased." And from my petty tyrant, that was praise indeed. So if you are in a situation where you have someone who is your petty tyrant, recognize him for what he is. He is there, perhaps in a role that you may not like, but if you can please a petty tyrant, you will have gained. But the thing is, how do you stay sane when you are being bombarded with what just looks like a load of negativity? Well, here's the thing. If you were not being bombarded by all of that negativity, it would probably mean that you were quite ineffectual and nobody gave a damn what you were doing anyway. So, just remember that when you come up with a load of opposition and a load of challenges, is that these challenges are there to help you, but only if you can keep your sanity and do what you need to do. Now right now Beth and I are enjoying a great deal of success in reaching people and in getting support for helping a lot of people who are not in such a great position themselves. And to the degree that we are enjoying success, we're also enjoying a load of opposition from people who seem to have nothing more to do than sit at their computer and nitpick. They're our petty tyrants. Well, lesson learned, and now we are working at staying sane and doing what we do. And what we do is we make videos and we help. And we help where we can using what we have to do just what we can. We're not always right. We're not always great at what we do. Our lips are often out of sync. Sorry about that, and we're working on it. We do our best and we try to help. And that's the main focus of our actions, our day. That's what we're doing. So, petty tyrants, thank you. This is a foreigner in the Philippines.